ASHTAVAKRA says to King Janak, you don't have any expectation from anyone, which means you do not expect anything from anyone. Second is, do not deform. You must have heard this a lot of places. Unaffected. One which is not affected. He asks not to deform. In which context is he saying to not deform? Who is he asking not to deform? Because who you actually are, we have already reached there. There is no scope to get deformed here. Being deformed means a change in form, which means some variation in the form. You look good. Assume an accident occurs and your skin burnt out. Now you look deformed. What happened to the skin? There was a deformation. You became old. When you were young, you looked handsome. When you grew old, your face had all these wrinkles. What happened? There was a deformation. You can say that this body is prone to deformation, and there is nothing wrong with that. Whatever the form is, there will be deformation. Deformation means a change happens. Forms change, but I do not change. So in what sense is he speaking? It's not that you become something. Deformation occurs in you, at the level of thinking. You keep on thinking that you've grown old. You are young. You are beautiful. You are ugly. What is all this? Just some thoughts. He says that you do not even need to think all this. In what sense is he talking? What we constantly think of ourselves, like, hope something bad doesn't happen to me. Something doesn't happen to people connected to me. Worry is related to all this. It is related to I. You do not worry about the neighbors. You are sitting here and you do not worry about unknown people. You are not worried about what happens if there is an earthquake in Africa. You are worried about what might happen if the place you are currently in experiences an earthquake. What is he saying? Do not worry, because what is going to happen will happen. This form is definitely be destroyed. But this doesn't mean that we needn't keep it fit. Whatever effort you can put on the outside to keep it fit, you should continue doing that, but be completely relaxed from within. If on the outside you are exercising, doing yoga and running, you still have to be relaxed from within and be strain-free, which means do not take stress unto yourself. Even if you encounter stress at times, just look back and see who you actually are. All the stress will die out. The moment you look at yourself, the real self, and you know it for sure that you are that self, there is no place for stress. What remains after that? Only the sensations on the outer side remains, which you call bad. You call it sorrow. You call it weeping. All this still remains after that. But there is no stress there. All of it is happening naturally. When the kids are crying, they are not stressed. They cry with the flow. They laugh with the flow. So weeping isn't stress. A kid is crying after getting hurt. That is not stress. You are just sitting and continuously thinking, are sad. Being sad is being stressed. Neither is he laughing out heartily nor crying out his lungs. He is frightened in both cases. He is thinking a lot. This is stress. So be entirely strain-free. Do not keep any stress with yourself. What is he ultimately saying to you? Whom is he speaking to? He is speaking to your thoughts. He is speaking to your understanding. He is speaking to your mind. He is trying to convey that you should keep your understanding the same as who you actually are. Your qualities are being explained to you. The reality doesn't expect anything from anyone. It is the same for both the good and the bad. It is not biased. It doesn't expect anything from anyone in return. And as and when I speak, you can look for yourself whether it is the truth or not. Does your experience too state the same or not? Is there any difference at the level of the sound of silence? let's keep aside the sound of silence too. Is there any difference at the level of water? Your body has water. My body has water. The criminal's body in jail also has water. It is also in animals and trees. There is no difference in the level of water. Do not be deformed. Do you get deformed? If you do not get deformed, why do your thoughts get deformed? If you do not change, why do your thoughts change? The thoughts not related to the objects, but related to the subject. There are two types of thoughts. One which is related to the objects and change do not bring sorrow to us. I saw a chair, a wall, a light, this, that. How does it affect? There isn't suffering there. There is no sorrow in that. The problem arises with the thoughts related to I. I am beautiful. I am ugly. Here is where the problem lies. So he is saying, keep your thought process the same as who you are actually. You will then be at peace. You do not get deformed actually. If your thoughts are not deformed too, what happens then? Suffering is over. And be strain-free. The reality holds on to this entire universe's stress, but there is no strain on it. Why not? Because it isn't different from this universe. It is its material cause. Like if there is a container, if we keep water inside that container, it will become heavy because of that water. So what does the container do? It is holding the weight of water. But there are waves in an ocean, huge waves. There is water in those waves. Is that water holding the weight of those waves? At the level of water, there is no weight because the wave is water itself. So don't be a container. Be the very substance of everything. At the substance level, there is no load. There is no stress at all. Keep the conscience calm. Calm means completely peaceful. You have to be completely peaceful from inside. Whatever happens on the outside, you have to be entirely peaceful in the inside. Why should you be peaceful? Because you are actually peaceful. Only then can you be peaceful. There is no other way to it. Where you will identify with your body, you can't be peaceful at that point. Because the body isn't peaceful. It is changing very rapidly. There are changes in it. As soon as you identify yourself with the body, you can't be not deformed. Your thoughts won't be not deformed. But if you are not identifying yourself with the body and you see to it who you actually are, and a one-time observation doesn't work, you keep on observing it continuously. The identification with this body is not the truth. You are not the body actually, but even then, all your experiences, your words, your thoughts are related only to this. This is an entire foundation. What is it? It is a practice. It is called a habit. From childhood until now, it has been so many years, 30 years, 40 years. You have been practicing all day and night. I am this body. I am this body. You did not sit around saying it out loud that you are this body, but whatever you have thought, whatever you have done, this was the sole foundation of all that. So your practice, your habit is all around this. Even after gaining this knowledge, after having an experience, your habit is still the same. How does this habit change? How does the conscious become calm? The habit has to change. How does any habit changes? Slowly. It doesn't change all of a sudden. How does any new habit come into being? Slowly. It doesn't come all of a sudden. So it needs practice. This practice is called satsang. Where you have practiced so much to think the wrong way, there is only one way to keep the conscience calm. You have to start a new practice now. Practice doesn't mean that you have to sit and meditate, not follow some freaky methods. You only need to understand who you are and who you are not. You have to relate it to your experiences, whatever the scriptures say. Slowly and steadily, your thought process will change entirely. Slowly and steadily, as your identification starts drifting away from the body, where will you reach? You will get your real nature. Now, even if some thoughts come to your mind, it will be just related to that. There is no suffering now. I am unlimited. Tell me, where is the suffering here? Is there any scope for suffering? I am unaffected by the existence or non-existence of anyone. What is the suffering here? It is impossible. Do not deform. I can't be deformed at all. How will you suffer? I can't die. I can't change. I can't go anywhere. I can't arrive somewhere. I am everywhere. How will you suffer? Tell me. This is a new practice which is completely different from this world. This world, because of its ignorance, they never observe what the truth is. Keep the conscience calm. No one should find the surface of your wisdom. It should opt for infinity. The same thing I just mentioned. The surface of your wisdom, which means the surface, like the surface of an ocean. The man even finds the surface of an ocean. He finds it 1 kilometer below, 2 kilometers below, 3 kilometers below. Its surface is definitely found at some place. But your wisdom should be such that no one is able to find its surface. It should opt for infinity. If wisdom is focusing on something which has no end, there is no end to the wisdom too. Infinity is something which has no end. If the wisdom is busy with something which is finite, the wisdom will be finite too. The wisdom can be busy with a huge thing, or a small thing, or whichever thing. If the wisdom is stuck at a place which has its end, the wisdom will also have an end. Its thought can be captured. Its thought can be measured. Fine, he is an expert scientist. He has a faraway vision. What is he thinking? Until when will this planet survive? Since when is it existing, and until when will it exist? So we are able to see the surface of his wisdom. What is it? What is his thinking? Just that, until when will this planet exist? That's it. What is this planet if we compare it with the universe? It is possible that there is another superior scientist. He is not thinking about the duration of the existence of this planet. He understands that this planet is nothing. Planets are created and destroyed. He is thinking about the birth of this universe, and until when will it exist? We can gauge his wisdom too. But the one who understands this universe, until when will he survive? Now catch it. You can't go any further than this. So be busy with the infinity. Don't be impatient because of anything. Impatient again means petty thinking, being sad, being tensed. Whoever is sad is because of his petty thinking. He who thinks big can never be sad. You have sole faith in your conscious essence alone. It means whatever is meant to be done on the outside, you keep on doing it. Whatever is required to be done for your survival. But your concentration should be entirely on your conscious essence. Not forcefully. Not because this work has been assigned to you by the scripture. Not because ASHTAVAKRA is saying so. But because you are wise enough. You need a lot of wisdom for this. Foolish people won't understand all this stuff at all. If you do not focus your mind, which means your conscious, or your thoughts to your essence. What does it mean then? Didn't we understand its meaning till date? How many times have you focused your mind on people, on things, on situations, and on this world? What did you achieve in the end? What has happened? Nothing. Back to square point. It means you have reached the point where you started it all. You started from sorrow and you have reached back to sorrow. If you weren't sad, if you weren't alone, you would have not attached yourself with anyone. One is being attached at the outer level. Fine, he is my husband, she is my wife. That is at a very surface level. One is being sad from within because of your husband. This is what attachment means. So as soon as your mind moved away from your essence, as soon as your thoughts were everything in the world but your essence, you should understand that you are getting trapped in an amazing trap. If you want to contemplate, contemplate about your essence. Because if the contemplation was solid enough, a pointed one. If this thought was one-pointed, a lone has been used here. If your lone thought was entirely focused on your essence, what will happen? One fine day, there won't be any scope for contemplation too. Why to contemplate if you have understood that your basic nature is happiness? Why to think any more? What's more than that? I am sad, hence I need to do something. I need to achieve something, hence I have the fear of losing. Hence I need to connect to someone, hence I need someone. I am alone, that is why I fear loneliness. That is why I get bored when I am alone. That is why I need some company. And the company I yearn for can dominate me. But if I'm not alone at all, if I exist alone, what does alone mean? I am different from everyone else and I am alone. I am lonely. But if I am the only one, it is different from being lonely. I am not alone. It is only I who exist in this entire creation. So this is what being said. It is being said because it is conclusive. As and when the contemplation goes deeper and deeper, the mind will die. What does die mean? There won't be any space for thoughts. It doesn't mean your brain will die. It will rather become sharper. Brain will be sharper beyond limits. What is our brain? What goes on in this brain? Petty thoughts, petty words. This is what usually happens. One whose brain is focused on the infinite, it means his brain is completely empty. It means that the brain is functioning at its 100% capacity. When we purchase a new computer, its performance is quite good. After some months, it degrades completely. It starts hanging. Why? Because the computer will be as fast as the amount of empty space available in it. What do people make out of it when it's said that the brain will die? People start fearing even this. Mind will die means all the thoughts related to stress will die. Sorrow will die. All bogus tension will be wiped out. Stress will die. All those thoughts which pull you down will die. You have sole faith in your conscious essence alone.